charged this could be start of a new Islamic empire, a caliphate, if you will, or a Sharia law over the entire region. Well, that was the dumbest thing anybody's ever uttered on television, I was told. Oh my gosh, that was crazy talk. Well, unfortunately, a WikiLeaks cable now confirms that members of the ruling party in Turkey envision a resurrection of the Ottoman-like state in the future. And having a more broad and regional influence, the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt says they want an Islamic regime across the entire Middle East. Turkey said earlier this week that now they want to have peace with Iran. This strikes me as dangerous because if you want to have peace in the Islamic world, you are ushering in the Mahdi or the 12th Imam, and peace comes at a very high price. Egypt says they want to turn over a new leaf also with Iran. Iran seems to be cobbling together the power in the Middle East, and Ahmadinejad knows the 12th Imam. And what he has to do is destroy Israel and then America. I want to introduce you to a gentleman that I think is pretty darn brave. He is Reza Kahlili. Reza, tell me, when you went undercover and you started hearing about the 12th Imam and everything else, you actually heard plans for the destruction of Israel and the West and the return of the 12th Imam.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a great pleasure to be on your program. Ever since I started to spy on the Islamic government, I reported on their activities, their terrorist expansion, their collaboration with all the terrorist groups around the world, and their intention to ultimately destroy Israel, because that's a key element. It's a mandate by century-old hadiths to take place so the Mahdi would return. So I would state here that they are committed to this ideology, and just because many in the West cannot understand it, it doesn't mean that it's real. And these are the same people who are pursuing the nuclear bomb. And I assure you that they intend to attack Israel, destroy Israel, and they're looking for the glorification of Allah worldwide. And this documentary is the blueprint of their ideology. And they had no intention for this to go public. I was alerted by my contacts in the Revolutionary Guard several months ago that the project was approved by the Iranian President Ahmadinejad and Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, produced by the Basij militias to be distributed throughout the Middle East, incite more uprising, overthrow US-backed governments, called for unification of Arabs, promising the destruction of Israel is imminent, and therefore the imminent coming of Imam Mahdi. Now this is all because we have an administration that is inept, weak, and confused, and they can sense this, and they've become emboldened and excited by the events in the Middle East.
All right, let me go to Eric, because what he brought out was this videotape. Explain what this videotape is.
Glenn, basically what this video does is it gives us a window into the mind of the Iranian regime, the twisted mind of the Iranian regime. It was made in conjunction with the office of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad himself.
Okay.
This tape has the stamp of the Iranian regime.
Okay.
And what it does is it takes us through the uprisings in the Middle East. Egypt, Yemen, Saudi Arabia. All of these are seen as divine signals from Allah by the Iranian regime that the end is near, and the Iranian regime identifies itself in this video as, quote, the great power from the East, as foretold in Islamic scriptures that will usher in the return of the Mahdi. And Glenn, an important point here, this video identifies Mahmoud Ahmadinejad as, quote, the commander-in-chief who will lead the armies of Islam to victory and conquer Jerusalem before the Mahdi returns. Jerusalem must be conquered in Islamic hands before the Mahdi emerges.
All right, now America, the reason why I'm taking you through this is I think, for instance, George Soros is an atheist, and that's fine. I have friends that are atheists, and that's totally fine. But if you're an atheist, you don't understand the mind of someone who is deeply religious. And many of the left who are atheists, they consider Christians as dangerous as those who are
suppress the people, but those radicals ruling Iran are committed to Islam, are committed to Allah, and they take it literally from the Quran, which demands kill all infidels until such time there are no more, and all are believers of Allah.
Do you know of a time before in Iran that the ruler was telling everybody, I have been appointed by the 12th Imam to usher in his return?
Well, you see, I have described it clearly in my book. These people, Ayatollah Khamenei, even Ayatollah Khomeini, the founder of the Islamic Revolution, before the revolution he stated he had 3 goals for Iran. One was to overthrow the Shah, the other was to establish an Islamic state, and third was to pass the flag of Islam to the last Messiah. It has been their intention, they have acted upon it, and we have failed to understand this.
Okay, when we come back, just some of the parallels and what it means and why people need to pay attention to this, even if you're not a believer, even if you're an atheist, why you need to understand what's happening in the Middle East. Back in a minute. We're back with Eric Stakelbeck and Reza Kahlili. We're talking about something that sounds insane, but it is what the people in and the leadership, not the people, but the leadership of Iran believe in, the 12th Imam. And I showed you at the beginning of the program, can you show these blackboards again? The similarities between the Christian antichrist and the 12th Imam, they are the same. They are the same. And the 12th Imam is according to the Hadith. Now, the leaders of Iran for the first time have said, he's coming. This is not something that just is about Israel or anything else. What is this?
Well, Glenn, first they came for the Jews. Israel is the canary in the coal mine. Israel is on the front lines of this war. But Israel is only the little Satan. America is the great Satan. America is the ultimate prize for this Iranian regime and the ultimate target.
And that means great Satan, we've heard that, I've heard that my whole life, and it really kind of came into clarity when I started doing my homework on the 12th Imam. That is what we use as the Antichrist. We think of it as a person. Many who believe the 12th Imam believe the great Satan is the Antichrist. It's a country, it's an entity, right?
America is the Antichrist in the Iranian regime's eyes. And I have to tell you, Glenn, this isn't just an Israeli problem. This is an American problem, and I'll tell you why.
It's a global problem.
It's a global problem. By the year 2015, our own Defense Department says, by the year 2015, Iran very well could have missiles that can reach America, the east coast of America, and if they keep going the way they're going, those missiles would be nuclear tipped.
Well, you have, let me go back to Reza, who was an undercover CIA agent who was in the Revolutionary Guard and saw these things that they were preparing to cause bloodshed and the destruction of Israel, right? Reza?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You say that this time right now is important because of 72 months. Can you explain this?
Yes. The Hadith says that 72 months prior to the reappearance of Imam Mahdi, this mythical figure, Shu'aib ibn Saleh, takes power. And they say this mythical figure is Ahmadinejad. So Ahmadinejad has been in office for over 5 years. That gives us a year timeline. They're clearly telling us that within a year, they're going to create the circumstances needed for the Imam Mahdi to come. And you've got to understand this. They've got over 1,000 ballistic missiles right now.
Okay, this is what you have to understand, America, that these people are serious. Even if you don't believe it, they do. They do. Back in just a second.